Hi, welcome to the Strategic Travel Management News. I'm Sarah, the host of the show. Today we have invited two aviation industry experts to talk about the low-cost carrier scene in Southeast Asia region. With us for this panel are Ms. Yudi Leong, the Director of Asia Travel Consultancy, and Mr. Samuel Chan, the Executive Regional Director of Centre for Aviation. Thank you for joining us the show today. So we understand that Southeast Asia has been a leading region for the low-cost carrier industry, including AirAsia, Jetstar, Lion Air, and Tiger Air, as they make up 3/4 of the regional capacity. And this has made our big players like Singapore Airlines and Cathay Pacific to feel the pinch for their short-haul businesses. SIA thus launched a mid to long-haul low-cost carrier, Scoot, in 2011 to deal with the threat and presence of such low-cost carrier. I think one of the key industry events that is happening now is Tiger Air. We are seeing a larger interest in Tiger Air's growth as SIA injected some 100 million funds into them lately. How do you think Tiger Air is doing right now, Ms. Leong?
So just to give a background about Tiger Air, their business model is to keep the cost to the lowest, such as using single aircraft to cut down on maintenance, training and parking costs. And to maximize their profitability, they cater to only short-haul flights operation so that their turnaround time will be shorter and thus have a higher passenger load. And the company, however, recently suffered a net loss of 102 million last year, third quarter, and following a record loss of 200 over million in the previous year. And sadly, they have exited their JVs with Indonesia and Philippines and sold their wholly subsidiaries in Australia.
Thank you for the insight, Ms. Leong. Now moving on to Mr. Chan, as a benchmarking purpose, who do you think Tiger Air is competing against in the industry here in Singapore?
I think that I think it would be AirAsia in this case, because I know AirAsia, it's not everybody can fly. It's a brand that is so strong in Singapore right now. Even they both start in Singapore around the same timing. They entered the market at the same timing. Tiger Air in 2004 and AirAsia in 2005. So really they are here at the same timing and they have been actually heading towards the same market, getting around the same market share here in the Singapore market, as well as overseas. And we talked about Indonesia, talked about Philippines. AirAsia had presence in those markets way before even Tiger came along, and from there we can see there's some form of rivalry between these markets. Also, AirAsia is more flamboyant in its marketing strategies, really being loud now, shouting the name out there. So I think it's really something that we can see that there is some form of competition between those two.
Maybe can we understand the business of AirAsia?
Okay, so AirAsia's business is really focusing on the target market will be those who are price sensitive. Individuals who are willing to give up all this thrills and frills of traditional air flying for a cheaper fare. So in terms of the market that they are really strongly in, it's really the Malaysian market. They control about 45% of the inbound and outbound domestic and international flights. Also, the market moving further down, they are breaking down to those leisure travelers as well as the social travelers and the business class travelers, So in their business operations, how they really work is because they're really efficient. That's how they keep costs low, by simplifying the operations, by keeping down all the ticketing and the boarding processes all low, especially the aircraft usage. So the aircraft is highly utilized, as well as low turnaround time to 25 minutes tops. So that's really streamlines their business and keeps their costs really low. And thirdly, is really about keeping no frills, right? That's the part where they don't have to actually spend a lot on this kind of frills, and they actually charge their passengers for this kind of things. So this actually is a very great source of revenue for AirAsia. As an ancillary business, it's about close to $800 million for AirAsia, and that's a really sizable amount. We can also attribute their success to even their business model of having multi-tiered fare structure. It means they have about 12 fare buckets split in 3 different types. So the lower range of that fare bucket is for those who book way in advance. So those are people who really want all the cheap deals, right? And those who book in the middle few fare buckets are those slightly around a few weeks before, a few months before. Those are people. That's where the pricing is really about meeting the cost margins, as well as the last few tiers. It's about really it's the people who book last minute, so they're the captured market, So that's where they charge high, and really that's where the profits are. One key way that also AirAsia does is really its distribution channel. It is one way that they cut down the cost a lot because they do not have a lot of physical stores in many locations. You see, a lot of their business is a lot of the transactions are done over the internet. over the website. About 60% of their bookings are from the internet. And physical stores are only meant for places where there's no internet. That's where they cut. So physical stores are there. They're not really very luxurious, and that really helps by cutting all these intermediaries. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chan, for the insight. Now, with both experts over here, what do you think are the strengths and weaknesses of both companies? Maybe Ms. Leong can start first.
So one of the strengths that Tiger Air has is a backing of a parent company. So Tiger Air has a strong financial backing from SIA, which SIA pumped in $140 million. So currently, SIA has owned 55% of Tiger Air shares. And SIA has also transferred some management over to Tiger Air to provide strategic skills and some leadership. And next, they also have strategic vendor partnership. They partner up with Honeywell as a technology manufacturing leader, which enabled Tiger Air to boost of its improved aviation system and assure customers a safer flight. This also helps to bring down operational costs. So the third point is asset-light expansion strategy. So Tiger Air recognized the importance that the business growth should gain momentum without straining its resources in the key Asian markets such as India. So one strength they have is forming joint ventures with the key industry players to reach new regions. One such as will be Air Asia Taiwan with China Airlines. So currently, Tiger Air has two weaknesses. First, as it's based in Singapore, we don't have a domestic market, so they cannot compete on volume, such as other low-cost carriers that are based in populous nations such as Malaysia. Air Asia can do their own domestic market. So this means Tiger Air's only growth opportunity is to increase flight share of the Singapore international flights. Low-cost carriers currently occupy more than 1/3 of Changi Air traffic. So Tiger Air is currently still sensitive to changes in the local market. An example would be the decline in the Singapore market in 2013, which led Tiger Air suffer losses. So it needs to overcome this weakness, which is the reason why SIA renewed its commitment to ensure Tiger Air Singapore soars once again. So the second one would be ineffective branding and marketing. So as you know, Tiger Air marketing hasn't been that good to engage the masses. So they also noticed it, hence they are putting more effort into it. So that's the reason for the brand refresh currently. The logo is currently changed into a more cursive, more orange logo, which is compared to his old logo was old-fashioned. So this brand refresh was to update the brand personality to a warm, passionate and genuine, hence the brand direction. However, Tiger Air marketing tactics, still it's more towards conservative than creative.
Thank you, Ms. Leong. Now let's move on to Mr. Chan.
Okay, I feel that Air Asia's strength, first and foremost, is really the established brand name and effective marketing. Everyone knows about the tagline of "Now everybody can fly," right? So it's something that everybody remembers. Also, having won 6 times in a row the world's best airline award, that is really a marketing feat as well, a really great addition to the brand image. I think another key thing for Air Asia is really leveraging on the e-commerce. Like you mentioned before, 60% of their sales come from the e-commerce site, their website. So having this e-commerce platform, it really is an advantage for them. And like in 2007, when the first Vista gadget software that was launched for Air Asia, it's really a competitive advantage that they actually have, because it was the first of its kind at the time, as well as they're currently still leading in terms of the different softwares, different things you can do on their website. And something in line together with this e-commerce will be the current joint venture with Expedia.com.sg. So the joint venture with Expedia is really one that gives it a competitive advantage of opening up many rooms. They have access to Expedia's inventories of rooms, flights, ground transport, etc. And this joint venture is really poised to take over the world with really cheap fares, and that's what Expedia is also all about. Fourthly, I think the strength is really having a great employer-employee relationship. They share such a good, they are the top employer in the tourism sector. And graduates actually really look forward to working for Air Asia. And they provide also really great employee benefits. They provide them free classes, they provide them free training, self-defense classes that they can use. That is really something that speaks volumes about how well they treat their employees. And In a recent unfortunate plane crash incident involving the company, AirAsia's CEO Tony Fernandez made a promise to the crew as well as to the family that he'll follow the body of the crew back home, and really he delivered on such a promise. So that is really shows that the management is looking to building the relationship with the employees, which goes a long way. However, firstly, I think one of the weaknesses that AirAsia is facing is really a lack of MRO facility. So they don't actually own an MRO facility themselves. As MRO stands for maintenance, repair, and overhaul, right? So they don't have a facility. They actually have outsourced this thing. So, but with a large fleet that they actually own, that may not be the most cost-effective way, to actually go about doing it, because having many planes order coming in as well as many planes flying around right now, it's best that they probably have their own MRO facility. Yeah. And one other weakness I think we can think about is really lacking of a air operator certificate here in the Singapore market, because everyone knows about AirAsia, flying out of Singapore, but the truth of the matter is that they do not really have the certificate that actually allows them to hub officially in Singapore. So I think for AirAsia to probably want to grow its presence even more, it's possible that they might want to look into getting this certificate.
In terms of the entire industry, Ms. Leong, what do you think are the opportunities for Tiger Air?
So currently, Tiger Air is quite in a situation right now, but fret not for Tiger Air, because there are a lot of opportunities out there for it to look forward to. So one of them is ASEAN Open Skies Agreement. So many carriers in this region is looking forward to this agreement. It's projected to happen end of this year. So this agreement will allow airlines to fly freely within ASEAN nations and create new profitable routes. So this will help untapped markets and add revenue to Tiger Air. So with the opening, all airlines can travel to any of these airports, further able to access market of 250 million. This is an opportunity for Tiger to fulfill an increased demand for their excess capacity. So next opportunity they can leverage on is closer relationship with their interline partner, Scoot. So Tiger and Scoot share an interline agreement and has recently signed a memorandum of understanding to further extend their partnership. So this partnership benefits both carriers through marketing of joint itinerary between destinations that serve Tiger and Scoot. So both carriers will be able to tap into medium and long-haul routes and short-haul routes. Scoot and Tiger also recently applied for the Competition Commission of Singapore for antitrust immunity. So once approved, Tiger will be more involved in the collaboration of commercial activities. So the third opportunity is industry-wide growth of service standard. So a study conducted by Singapore Management University has indicated that budget airlines subsector improved 4.9 points to 67.5 points. This has closed the gap between full-service airlines, which improved 2.5 points to 77.1 points. So this tells us that customers expect low-cost carrier to satisfy their expected service standards. It also closed out the service gaps between low-cost carrier and full-service carrier, as consumers not only expect cheap fares but also good service. The Chief Commercial Officer of Tiger also stated that Tiger wants to let its customers have a great travel experience. With this, there is an opportunity to access a segment of market which requires a higher level of service standards.
Thank you, Ms. Leong, for your insights. Now let's move on to Mr. Shah, who will tell us about the threats.
I think the Open Skies Agreement is something that the industry looks forward to, but it can be a threat for certain airlines, especially for Tiger Air, because there's a possibility that they may not expand fast enough to take full advantage of the Open Skies Agreement, because there are already currently bigger airlines like Lion Air and even AirAsia, that already have strong regional operations, and if Tiger Air doesn't improve itself fast enough, doesn't have enough JVs, doesn't have enough flights to the region, having the Open Air Agreement, doesn't help them at all, and in fact it just helps their competitors. And I think secondly, a second key threat in the industry is really a lowered interest in flying within the region, especially Malaysia, Singapore and Thailand, which is the three countries that Chinese tourists tend to fly to. So currently with the unfortunate incidents that happened in the past year, of Malaysian Airlines as well as AirAsia, fortunately both airlines from Malaysia, this interest in this region is bad for Tiger Air also, because they make many flights to China, and with this reduced interest, they are not filling up their seats, and that is bad for their business.
As our time is running out, we'll end our interview over here. Though Tiger Air's forecast isn't looking quite good now, they can learn from AirAsia's strengths as highlighted earlier on by Mr. Chan. Also, with Singapore Airlines coming into the picture, we can expect them to give their inputs to Tiger Air and improve the business. With this, thank you both Mr. Chan and Ms. Leong for your valuable inputs, and we hope that this interview will give a better forecast of the low-cost carrier industry in this region. Thank you and goodbye. Did you watch yesterday's strategic travel management news?
Yes, I did. Shall we think of some recommendations to help Tiger Air?
Sure, let's do it. I have one. The first recommendation is to reduce overcapacity by leasing out their excess planes to Vistara. Since Vistara operation begins in 2015, expansion and growth are expected. This will benefit both airlines.
Vistara can increase capacity easily while limiting risk of overcapacity. Tiger Air's inactive capacity will be utilized, and our staff can operate the aircraft when Vistara fly passengers.
This means Tiger Air staff won't be retrenched and human resource capacity can be better utilized.
The projected time frame is within 2 years upon approval by related authorities. The second recommendation is to create extension out of SIA's existing rewards and loyalty program, KrisFlyer. But how much should we call this sub-tier loyalty program?
Shall we call it the KrisFlyer Lite?
Yeah, great idea.
And both carriers' customers will have access to limited rewards redemption.
But how can we ensure fairness?
To make it fair for the SIA customer, maybe we should have it value-based instead of mileage-based so that they can accumulate points based on flight value. In this way, they will not be at a disadvantage. The projected time frame can be within 3 years since this is the first time SIA is working with a LCC on a loyalty program and they have many considerations to take note of.
SIA's benefits are access to certain domestic routes catered by Tiger Air to various destinations in Philippines and Thailand. This will add on to the alliance SIA have with Virgin Airlines. Customers' benefits are greater convenience to purchase flights and access to more destinations. They can also enjoy flexibility in usage of miles and redemption of points from one carrier to another. They also have a wider product range to choose from for the rewards redemption.
Tiger Air benefits are access to SIA's loyal customer base, and for customers who have not flown on LCC before, they'll be introduced to the brand and they might choose Tiger Air for their next flight. Also, they can take advantage of SIA's strong reputation and rebuild their image. The third recommendation is to introduce a corporate travel program.
But who should we target?
With more small and medium enterprise travelers, Tiger Air can collaborate with Scoot to develop a corporate travel program.
But why the SMEs?
It will meet their needs of enjoying maximum comfort at minimum value.
Then why Scoot?
Since both carriers share an interline agreement and can work closer after approval of antitrust immunity, Scoot is the best partner for Tiger Air. But how should we tailor the travel plans?
Varying with the size of SMEs, the travel plan can be tailored accordingly. Possible benefits include, firstly, free cancellation or amendment up to 1 day in advance. Secondly will be extra leg room. Thirdly will be premium meals.
The projected time frame can be within 1 year once the antitrust immunity is approved.
The fourth recommendation is to expand sustainability into China market.
But why the China market?
Because of the recent airplane disasters, it has greatly affected the Southeast Asia market and passengers' confidence, in particularly the Chinese. Tiger Air can rebuild their confidence and tap into the Chinese domestic market.
So what should we call the subsidiary airline?
It can be called Tiger Air China.
That sounds good. Since Tiger offer flights to China but do not have a hub there, how about they build the base hub at Guangzhou?
But why Guangzhou?
Because the limited government and business travel segment will create a gap for low-cost services.
Guangzhou is also good because it is the second busiest airport in China.
But Guangzhou has their own LCC, the Zhouyan Airlines.
But it only offers short domestic routes between Guangzhou and Zhangjiang.
Therefore, Tiger Air China can offer more flights to other destinations in China and possibly venture into Hong Kong and Macau market due to geographical proximity. The projected time frame can be within 5 years to gain approval from China authorities. Or Tiger Air can offer more flights to and from China on top of the existing destinations served and increase flight frequencies.
As China and Singapore's trade relationship has always been good, expanding into the China market will help Tiger Air to access new markets and benefit customers.
The projected time frame can be within 3 years since our company would channel more resources into their new joint venture with China Airlines.
Yes.
Oh no, I think too much! I need to go and grab some lunch. Aren't you hungry? Let's go!